Alright, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video. It's your main man King Levi here with a brand new segment called Late Nights with Levi, where I talk to you about some of the amazing, craziest, funniest, and underrated events of the week in about 5 minutes. And it's also at night. Get the title, Late Nights with Levi. Like I said, 5 minutes, don't want to waste too much time, so let's get right into it. Starting at the top of the week, last Monday saw Crystal Kaiser, a Wisconsin teen who killed her alleged sex trafficker, was finally released from jail after 2 years. But wait for it, on a $400,000 bond. That was originally $1 million that the judge finally decreased to $400,000. Imagine being thrown in jail because you killed the guy who was forcing you to have sex with grown men. Now that's shameful, and I'm not the only one who thinks like that. The Chicago Bond Fund also said that no one should be incarcerated for surviving violence against them. Far too often, survivors of violence, especially Black women and girls, are punished for defending themselves. The statement said, Crystal's case highlights the urgent need for us to stop prosecuting survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. This girl was 16 when she met her trafficker, 19 when she killed him, and 21 now being charged for first-degree murder, use of a dangerous weapon, and 4 other felony charges. To be completely honest with you, she probably felt like this was her only choice. Oftentimes we see girls in these situations feel like their only way out is if they get rid of the person who is making them feel trapped, and that's exactly what she did. She got rid of the guy who was keeping her away from her freedom. Now, to be fair, she did plead self-defense, and it is an ongoing case, so there's not a lot here that we can talk about yet, but it is still something worth mentioning, and it is something that we will come back to in the future once there's a final verdict, and obviously once more evidence appears. A lot of you have probably heard of this by now, but last Saturday night saw Peel Regional Police officers shoot and kill 62-year-old Ajaz Shanri, who was suffering from a schizophrenic episode. Peel police forcibly entered his home after his family had called a non-emergency helpline, expecting healthcare professionals to come instead of police. And rightfully so, that makes sense. Someone's having a mental episode, you think the logical idea would be to bring people who are experienced and study mental health issues. But somehow, 911 ends up getting the call and the police end up getting there. This incident has outraged the Islamic community, and they are calling for proper justice to be done.
The police are theoretically meant to keep us safe. But with this officer on the streets, no one can feel safe. Not now, not ever. This is our demand. He needs to go, and he needs to go now. The man who killed Uncle Ajaz has no right to ever wear the badge and be walking on our streets ever again. Thank you.
My condolences to the family of Uncle Ajaz and to everyone that this has deeply affected. I really do hope that you guys get the answers that you're looking for, because my condolences are just not enough. You need answers, and you deserve answers, true and honest answers. But before we move on, I do want to say one thing. All right. Muslims, Blacks, and many other minority groups are fighting very similar wars. It's both oppressed taking on their oppressor, and the war won't be won in a day. It's going to take time. Eventually, we will get there. The battle of systemic racism is very challenging and very tiring, especially when people in positions of authority have no clue what systemic racism is.
The average person can broad jump their height. So, of course, how many 6-foot people do we hire? And there are people in all different cultures that may not be 6 feet, including there's not a lot of women that are 6 feet tall that would not be able to get through that type of test.
Be systemic discrimination, but I'm trying to think of systemic racism.
In our that we have some questions, for example, in our aptitude test. And you know what, I might refer Gail, because that is Gail's specialty in the HR world.
Yo, Gail. Yeah, Gail, I got a couple of questions for you, okay? Because I have no clue what I'm talking about, all right? So I need you to come bail my ass up real quick. Cool. You're amazing, Gail. You're the RCMP Commissioner, leader of the Federal Canadian Police, biggest police force in Canada, and you can't give an example of systemic racism? And we wonder why we can't solve our problems. It's because people in this country don't even know what our problems are, and they refuse to find out. Here's my advice to you. Educate yourself on what affects you and what affects your community. That's why I make videos like this. I'm trying to do my portion on our road to equality by making people a bit more aware of what's going on in our world. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend. It really helps this video spread around YouTube. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter so you can be informed on what's happening in the world, and so you can know what's happening with my channel when I'm posting, when I'm live, and so much more. But until then, Levi out.